8 hours of battery.
Okay, so we are on the air. We are back. The Tailgate Zone is back. Welcome, everybody. So we are here with Mark. We are here with Steve. We're here with Terry. We're here with Tim, and I am Michelle. And to start us off tonight, we're going to hear Florida GDFR featuring Sage the Gemini. And then we will be back with some sports.
I know it came to the city. If you're afraid, then come on with me.
I see you, Steve.
I'm ready to go. I said, open up.
Come on, Terry. You're next, Terry. You're up.
Hey.
Tim, let me see you groove, Tim. Tim, come on.
Come on, Tim. Show me how y'all doing in Florida. If you play some Luke.
Tim, come on.
Hold up. I know you came to the city. If you're afraid, then you come on with me.
Hey.
I know what you came here to do. I said, open up, see you getting this. It's going down for real.
Y'all know what's up. Go Steve. Go Steve. Go Steve. Go Steve. Go.
Put your hands up.
Go Steve. We're going to give you another chance, Tim. Here we go, Tim. Let's see it.
Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm not doing anything more until Tim does it. Come on, Tim. Step it up, man.
Tim, don't you do nothing.
I'm not
You got to
partying.
earn the entertainment.
I am not partying with you, Tim. Come on, Terry. Show him how to do it. Show him how to do it.
You gotta pump that music.
Go, Terry.
Hey.
All right, Steve, we're coming back to you. I don't know where Mark's at. All right.
You guys can't see me? Still?
All right. I'm still gonna go to Tim even though he's not doing anything. Okay, so you guys know who the nerd is. All right. All right. So Tim, what was that all about? What was that all about, Tim? You don't dance. We're not going to party with Tim. Uh-oh. Hey. It just keep going. It just kept going. And I stopped it too. Uh-oh. Maybe they want to see Tim dance. Tim. Okay. So we'll play the jeans in a little while. When you put your jeans on, Tim, you got to put your... Oh, there's Mark. All right. So there's Mark.
By the time you pay your Verizon bill.
What's up, Mark?
I still haven't done that. I'm sitting there. I realized I said I guess I had to hang up and come back on. Maybe that would get the video going.
Ah, okay. Well, you got it.
You couldn't see me. I had my shirt off and everything. I was grooving.
Oh, okay. So we're going to start, guys. We want to welcome everybody to the Tailgate Zone, the new people, the people that have been following us for a while. We want to thank you. We have a new host, Mark, you want to say hello to everyone, Mark?
Hey everybody, out to Tailgate Zone. Man, it's going down.
So he got a little echo going on, but that's okay. So we're going to start tonight. We're going to start with Terry, and what Terry is going to talk about, he's going to talk about his best fantasy football picks. Okay, so he's going to talk about who he picked. Mark just did a fantasy league, so he's going to talk about it too, and then we'll ask the other guys about who they picked. It looks like we lost Steve for some reason, but okay. So Terry, go ahead, baby.
All right, you know I recently started doing FanDuel, so I do the week by week thing. So I look up matchups, and so this week, since we have some in the first week, one of the things that I decided to do is go with some teams that I think that'll shake it up. So is Steve calling in?
I know, that's what I'm trying to see. But I don't know how to answer that. But I'll bring him in. Go ahead.
Okay. So just because this is week one, I'm just going with players that I think may have a good fit. So the first week for the quarterback, I chose Ben Roethlisberger. Michelle, Shelly, I know you. Oh, Big Ben. I went with Big Ben because New England's defense is a little suspect.
Hey.
I went with Ben.
That's Tim the hater.
Hey, I see Steve back. Yeah, I went with Ben this week because it's week one. Anything can happen, and you shake it up. So for my running backs, of course, Adrian Peterson, he's back. So I went with him because he's going to try to go out with a bang.
Yes.
Then my other running back I chose was none other than the great Matt Forte because I'm a Bears fan, of course. I would be silly if I didn't do that.
Of course.
No, but you would be biased though.
Hey, the wide receivers, I went with Golden Tate, Demaryius Thomas, and a sleeper pick. I'm telling you, he's in two of my fantasy leagues. That's Terrence Williams from Dallas. I think I don't even like the Cowboys, but I like Terrence Williams. My tight end, I went with Kobe Fleener this week. My kicker is Brandon McManus, and my defense is the Dallas Cowboys defense because the Giants are not ready yet. So there you have it. I try to look up matchups. I try to look up week one. Anything can happen. So with that, that's the only reason why I chose those picks. Now next week my stuff is gonna be a little differently because I'm in the FanDuel league. So give you all a heads up. But that week this is who I went with. This is what's gonna bring me some money for FanDuel this week.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up because you said it in first. Okay, so it's Mark's turn. Mark, tell us about your what you just signed up with and who you chose.
First I would say, Terry, you better match Forte out there early because he didn't hold up the whole season. And I like Matt Forte.
Matt Forte was healthy all last year. He didn't get hurt at all.
Impossible. Anyway,
I'm an Bears fan. I know.
Well, I just joined up this morning with a team on the ESPN Fantasy Football League, and I did it in the morning. I was leaving out to go to work, but I do know I got the great Tony Romo, the quarterback. He's gonna bring it home. This is his year.
I don't know about great.
Wait, hold it. Where are my effects? Hold on. I need effects. I need some. Maybe it'll be applause. No, who did you say?
I said the great Tony Romo. Why are you giving me applause for that?
No, that was a joke. That was somebody else. Somebody else.
That's real. The great Tony Romo. He's gonna lead us to the promised land.
Can you guys see me?
Can you hear me? Right there.
We can see you, Steve. Also, running backs wise, I got LaShawn McCoy. I think he's gonna have something to prove. I got also I have Receiver, I got Dez Bryant, best receiver in the game, and it was a catch. They robbed him.
Hold on. Your picture keeps freezing, and right now it's frozen in the strangest way. But go ahead. Oh, there you
My
are.
picture.
Yeah, it froze.
Okay, I'm bringing the thing close to me so you can hear me clearly.
Okay.
Also with tight ends, I got Owen Daniels.
For what?
At tight end, I also have as receiver, I have Andre Johnson. I believe Andre Johnson is definitely going to resurge himself, finally having a quarterback that can throw him the ball.
That's a good pick. Now I'm not going to doubt you on that one.
And defensively, I did take the Dallas Cowboys defense. Also, no, I'm sorry, I didn't take the Dallas defense. I took the Dolphins defense.
That's a good pick. They're playing against the Redskins.
Yeah, and the thing is too is I mean for the fans, I got them for the long haul. I think they had a solid defense last year, and having Ndamukong was only going to add to it. So I also like Dallas's defense as well. Don't get me wrong. So I think our front seven is going to be great. That boy Greg Hardy looked good. I mean, not Greg Hardy. Randall Gregory. Randall Gregory looked good.
Next.
You did good with Terrence Williams. Is not a sleeper. He's just not a number one receiver. But Terrence Williams is slowly getting better every year and every week.
And I think because everybody's going to be so heavily concentrated on Dez Bryant, they're going to forget all about that cat.
Oh yeah, got to be. They got to be. But he's hurt him last year when they double teamed Dez Bryant. He's hurt him.
That's true. Is that all of your picks, Mark?
That's pretty much the crux of the starters. A couple of my second running back, I cannot remember who I got. No, I know who it was. I got T.J. Yeldon. That was kind of who was left for me. With Jacksonville, I think T.J. Yeldon can be a talent, but with Jacksonville, it's going to be hard pressed to get much because they're not very good.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I wanted to see if Steve has any fantasy, and I just want to make a comment. Tim, your picture went away, and I think it was that sucky Raider jersey that you had on the wall back there. I think that took the picture away. So take that down, and maybe your picture will come back. Steve, do you have any fantasy players?
Fantasy players? Well, let's see. Quarterback, you start with the great Aaron Rodgers, best quarterback in the game. At running back, I'm getting Peterson this week because he's going up against a Niner front seven that, quite frankly, Peterson coming back from a long layoff is going to be raring to go in that one against a Niner defense that is vulnerable. So I like him this week. As a tight end, you got to go with Gronk. Rob Gronkowski, best tight end in the game and the most flamboyant, and it's week 1, so he's going to be primed to go. Wide receiver, Antonio Brown. I mean, he was the best, most productive receiver in the NFL last year, and he's going to be, in the absence of Le'Veon Bell, he's going to have to step it up big and make some plays with Roethlisberger. So I fully expect that he's going to do that. My other wide receiver will be Randall Cobb over in Green Bay, an All-Pro last year. And this year, without Jordy Nelson, he's going to be Aaron Rodgers' number 1 target. He was targeted more than Jordy Nelson was last year, believe it or not. And you have Devontae Adams behind him. So look for Randall Cobb to have a big season this year as long as the shoulder sprain is not serious. And then as a defense, you start with Seattle. As much as I hate to admit it, as the Niners die hard, you start with Seattle, albeit they're without Cam Chancellor this week, as he didn't practice, but they're going up against the Rams, who have some new parts to break in offensively, so we'll see how that goes. And as a kicker, the best in the game, and a guy benefited from last year, Stephen Gostkowski of the Patriots. With Tom Brady, you're either going to get extra points or field goal opportunities, so Stephen Gostkowski is a pretty good acquisition as far as a kicker will go, a guy who could get you 20 points in a few given weeks during the season, as he did for me last year. So that would be my fantasy team in week 1 that I would recommend for all the fantasy geeks out there.
Okay. Tim, who are your fantasies?
Wait for it. And you know what? Just for fantasy, though, this is only my week 1 pick. Now, trust me, I'm going to be picking players differently every week. I'm just looking up matchups. Now, I'm not saying that I'm sold with these players the whole time, just only for week 1.
Okay. Okay. So Tim.
Hey, can I say something here real quick while on that with Steve's picks? Just one comment on this, into saying that the best kicker in football is Dan Bailey from the Cowboys.
You wasn't raised right.
No. That's hands down. You guys haven't seen what Dan Bailey's been doing over the past 2-3 years?
I can't say that I have.
No, I'll put it to you like this. In the past 3 years, he's only missed 2 field goals.
That sound like Robbie Gold from the Bears.
Oh, jeez.
And he kicks in the snow.
So.
And he kicks in the snow.
Hey, Terry, Robbie Gold? More like silver.
Let's not talk about teams with your 49ers, brother. Please don't talk about a team. You know what? I got a letter in the mail from the 49ers, and they asked me to play cornerback. And you know what I did? I shred that. I shred that so fast. I would not come out to San Fran and play anything.
I got a similar letter from the Bears asking if Pitts Willis unretires. Would he come play for you and to replace Brian Urlacher? He said no too.
You know, the funniest thing in the world is 2 teams at the bottom of the division are arguing about who's better.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. We should argue who's going to be worse this year. I'm telling you.
Basically.
Hey, you know I made my predictions about the Hawks last year, and y'all laughed at me, right?
You also would put them in the NBA Finals. It seems to be your most tweeted pick all year long. I asked you about
the
that.
Chicago Bears this year in the NFC North.
You're like, I don't know.
Guys,
Tim beat Green Bay.
So, Tim, do you have a fantasy team?
There's nobody on Oakland. I tell you that.
Tim, we can't hear you. We know it's not a Raider. Tim, we can't hear you. You want to try again?
Not if this fantasy league is scoring touchdowns.
Tim, we cannot hear you. Can you fix your audio?
He's making about as much noise as the Raiders are gonna make.
Hey, didn't we have this problem with Tim last year?
Hey, Tim, you better speak up quick. The shit talker's taking over here.
Tim, we are live. This is not practice, Tim. We are live.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's your fantasy team?
My fantasy team is the Raiders, of course.
Oh, God.
That team was a fantasy if they win 4 games.
His fantasies out the Raiders to fight the Super Bowl in the next 50 years.
Okay, well, Tim's
the Raiders. I know the Raiders won 4. All I want the Raiders to win is 1 game this year. Just 1.
Oh, who is that against the Steelers, of course?
Of course, against the Steelers.
That's you guys' championship.
I don't care.
You guys, to win the Steelers is the Raider championship.
I'll be partying if we go 1-15 and beat the Steelers.
That's all you guys can brag about. I'm telling you. That's it. So, Tim, while your audio is still working, let's talk about the most intriguing games of Week 1.
The first, in my opinion, the most intriguing games, I'm going to give 3 intriguing games, the ones that we should pay attention to, that most of the nation probably will be watching. First one will be that one tomorrow between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. In my opinion, I think New England, after they present them with their that championship ring that they didn't really earn.
No, they did.
They're gonna. I think they'll come out flat, and I think Pittsburgh will work them. I think Pittsburgh, they've already said they want to go after Gronkowski. I just think that New England would be, with everything that has happened, this off season, even some of the things that were said this week, I think they'll be emotionally drained. I understand they're at home, but I think Pittsburgh is going to go in there, especially after that poor preseason, being the only team to lose 4 games in the preseason,
I know we
I
were
think
not
Pittsburgh will come in there and
the
beat
Hall of
them.
Fame game shouldn't even
Hey,
count.
count it. Hey, you got all these guys on. You got all these guys here. Ask them. Hey, guys, doesn't the preseason game, that Hall of Fame game, count towards the preseason?
Yeah.
You see, Michelle?
It counts, but what I'm saying is they're rushed. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. Wait a minute. Is there a violin up there?
Hey, I thought I heard something in the background.
Okay, so you said our game is the first game to watch. What are the
That,
other?
of course, that's because everybody's going to want to watch. It's Thursday night. Everybody's, that's something to talk about the next morning at the water cooler, that Pittsburgh New England game. I think it'll be a little anticlimactic. I think Pittsburgh is going to blow them out. In my opinion, I think Roethlisberger and that Pittsburgh defense, they're going to get a big win tomorrow. My second game, Michelle, of course, is the battle of number 1 drafted quarterback and the number 2 drafted quarterback. I know it may not be, the attention grabber as a few other games, especially, with people like the Bears fan up there and the 49er fan. I know they think their games are more important. But I think, Mariota and Winston going at each other in week 1, I think that is a real intriguing matchup because they're going to probably want to outplay each other. And they want to probably prove that, I'm number 1. No, I should have been number 1. So I'm looking forward to that matchup since it's here in my backyard. I guess that's my second intriguing game. The one I want to watch. But
Third one?
my third, of course, is going to be the Cowboys and the Giants. And I just hope they beat the hell out of each other.
You don't care who wins. You just want them to beat the hell out of each other.
My 2 worst teams in the NFC are the Giants and the Cowboys, and my 2 worst teams in the AFC are the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. And they won't play each other this week. So I hope they beat the hell out. I hope all 4 of them beat the hell out of each other. So
after that comment, we're going to Mark since he's a Cowboy fan, and ask him what are your top. It doesn't have to be 3, but what are the top games to watch? You think for this week 1, Mark?
I want to say that basically I don't blame Tim for wanting us to beat each other because that's something that he can't do. So you got to hope for others to do what you can't do. So
he's a Raider fan, you guys. Yes, Tim is a Raider fan, so that's why Mark said that.
I really don't know why we allow Raider fans to talk football. I really don't. But anyway, I would say honestly, there's 2 intriguing. I think are pretty much the 2 intriguing games of the week, and that would be tomorrow's game with obviously the Patriots with everything that's gone on in the offseason. Even the commissioner is too cowardly to show up and be there to honor the Super Bowl champions. And they earned the Super Bowl championship. I mean, we get another call, Tim.
I have no idea how to answer it. That's the only thing. That's the weird part about it.
Is it cleared out? Okay. My thing is, I would say is that the Patriots and stuff like that being at home, the commissioner being too cowardly to show up after losing the court battle, and honoring the Super Bowl champs, and Patriots earned the Super Bowl. It's not their fault that Pete Carroll called their coaches called that dumbass play. So, that was terrible. That was terrible. The coaches have been fired for doing that. But I would say that game with Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh had a little semi-controversial offseason, bringing in Michael Vick with all the 4 or 5 dog lovers in Pittsburgh hating. So it'll be interesting to see. And the other one is the Cowboys and Giants, and not just for my personal reason of the Cowboys, but I think that to see the Cowboys without DeMarco Murray, everybody wants to see what the running game is going to look like. The Giants, now Odell Beckham has been the talk of the town with that great catch he made against the Cowboys last year. Still lost the game, but the catch, whatever. And Victor Cruz will be back. Jason Pierre-Paul won't be able to play because he blew his finger off with a firecracker. A firecracker! He blew his finger off with a fire fucking cracker. A firecracker blew off a big running back order. He blew his finger off with a firecracker. Anyway, so that part of it, and then I'll be real with you. The Giants have not gone more than 2 seasons, having bad seasons. So you would think almost they find a way to turn around in that 3rd season. So I'm going to lie to you. As much as people talk about Philadelphia, I'm not impressed with Philadelphia. The team that I'm actually a little bit more concerned with is the Giants because you just don't know. They have talent. It's just will they be able to put it together. So I want to see how we look, but I think we'll be okay. But I wouldn't be surprised if we lost that game because it's a NFC East rival.
Right. Okay, Terry, games to watch.
Well, of course, I'm a Bears fan, so the 2 oldest teams in the NFL, the Packers and the Bears, you can't start off with anything better than that. So I think that game is actually going to be pretty good. I'm excited about watching that one, not just because I'm a Bears fan, but I'm going to be excited about that. That Tampa Bay Tennessee game, that's actually going to be a pretty good game. I think both quarterbacks are going to try to show out. I'm going to be excited about that game. And the last game is it's a divisional game. I want to see how St. Louis has been giving Seattle problems for a while. I want to see how that game's going to turn out with Seattle and St. Louis Rams. So those are the 3 games.
Okay. Steve, games to watch?
Yeah, my first game to watch is Colts at Bills. What's intriguing about this game, guys, is it's one of the best defenses in the league, and the Bills, who had 54 sacks in the team last year, number 1 in the NFL, going up against the number 1 passer in the NFL last year in terms of yardage and touchdowns, Andrew Luck. So that's going to be a classic battle of opposites, in which the difference, I think, will be Frank Gore running the football to give Andrew Luck a chance to not have to deal with the pass rush of Buffalo too much, which would be a key in that game. So I think the Colts will win, but that's an intriguing matchup. Another matchup I'm intrigued by is the Eagles against the Falcons. The Falcons getting embarrassed by the Panthers in the final game of the year last year to cost them a playoff spot. They have a new head coach in town, and Dan Quinn, who's going to bring the balance to Atlanta's offense and supposedly a very good defense, and he ended up in Seattle. So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to a Philadelphia team with a whole lot of question marks, but a talented team that a lot of people think is going to win the NFC East. And I'm not quite sold on that. But if they answer a lot of these questions with a yes, as in, can their defense get to anybody? Can their defense stop anybody? Can DeMarco Murray duplicate the success he had in Dallas last year? Can their offensive line stay healthy? Can Sam Bradford stay healthy? If they answer yes to all those questions, they're going to be the team to watch in the NFC East. So I'm intrigued by that game. Another game I'm intrigued by is Minnesota, San Francisco. Obviously, my Niners. I'm just glad they're going to have football to start playing after a nightmarish and turbulent off-season. So the fact that they're gearing up for a football game is a great sigh of relief for me. And the Vikings are one of those teams this year expected to be a lot better than they've been on both sides of the ball. So I think that'll be a good early test for the Niners to see how things may go this year against an improved Vikings team. So those will be my 3 games to watch.
You don't need the football game to see how it's going to go, Steve. We already know how it's going to go. Come on, man.
You ought to be rooting for my Niners. You ought to be rooting for my Niners, Terry, because they might give your Bears a run for the money.
Hey, I'm a Niners fan on Sunday. Trust me.
There you go. See, first show of the season, Michelle. I've already got Terry spinning to the other side. See how?
Well, Steve, my question is: after the mass exodus from the 49ers,
oh, is that what you would call that?
yes, players didn't want to play with the guys whatever reason. What has changed that will make you guys this?
Repeat the question one more time, Michelle. I'm sorry.
What has changed that will make you better this season?
What has changed that will make the Niners better this year? Well,
Yes.
first of all, I'm not sure I would call it a max exodus. I would call it more parting of the Red Sea, as in a sea that was red and whole, and now it's parted, if you get my drift. But all joking aside, the one good thing for the 49ers this year is that no one, myself included, does not expect them to be anywhere near a playoff team. So they can go out, they can play loose. I don't anticipate anyone will retire in the middle of the year, like Navarro Bowman, for example. So hopefully he doesn't decide to retire in the middle of the year. But assuming that doesn't happen, the Niners can play loose. We can see what Colin Kaepernick's able to do this year in a new offense. We can see if Tom Sula is going to make us forget about Jim Harbaugh. We can see all these things that can point to a very good future, but the future is not now for the Niners. So in my estimation, what's changed for the Niners this year is expectations. They don't have any, and they can kind of go out and play loose. And in playing loose, they might be one of the bright teams in the NFL. It happens every single year, or they could end up pitching some upsets like the Rams did last year against some of the giants in the league, like Seattle. So I just want to see them go out and play hard and do the best they can. If they do, so be it. But no expectations for the Niners this year. That's probably the biggest change surrounding this team.
Well, Steve, I know it's probably something you're not used to. So if you have any questions about it, be sure to check with Tim, because Raiders fans have had no expectations for the last
Raiders best team in the Bay Area.
since the 70s. So talk to your buddy Tim right here.
We're the best team in the Bay.
Bay of Biscay.
And Michelle, when your Steelers lose to the Patriots on Thursday, feel free to call me up if you want to vent.
No, because you said that you haven't been good, right? The Steelers have been great, all right? We have a few hiccups.
They were better last year, but they did lose in the first round. Keep in mind. So.
Yeah, we were much better than the year before. We were much better than the year before. So we're going to go. Mark has split his sides over here with the things you were saying about the 49ers.
I'm trying to figure out. Forget Jim Harbaugh. You can't even remember who the coach is now. How's he going to make him forget Jim Harbaugh? Who is the guy who's the coach? Who is this guy?
Who is this guy? I'll tell you who he is, Mark. He's Ron Jeremy's twin brother without the curls. or that other thing, something you wouldn't know about, right?
I'll show you a picture of me and Ron Jeremy together.
Too much information.
We had our clothes on.
This is a G-rated show, Mark. Let's keep that in mind now, huh?
So, Mark,
I honestly, the Niners, I think the thing with Kaepernick, unlike having creating the bad temperament around his team, like RG3, I compare him to RG3. Kind of quarterback that's not very accurate, and now that he has the force to read defenses and get out of that read option, it's causing him problems. Now, if he's worked on his game enough, he hasn't had the distraction of having to be in the starting lineup, out of the starting lineup. He's still the starting quarterback. He probably will have a chance to work with the offensive coordinator to work with things and improve his ability to make better decisions.
I completely agree, Mark. And I think, one thing I'll say about Kaepernick is that I think what worked so well for him was when he made the Super Bowl run 3 years ago. I think that's one of the worst things that could have happened to him, because since that run, when he just busted onto the scene in his second year and did what Alex Smith couldn't do the season before, and that's get the Niners to a Super Bowl and nearly win it, I think he has really tailed off. And I think a big part of that is that I think it went to his head a little bit. He had the incident in the Miami hotel room. You saw the posing he did, kissing his muscles and so on and so forth. He wasn't humble humble enough to appreciate the opportunity in front of him, being a quarterback of a franchise that had Joe Montana and Steve Young, a couple of Hall of Famers, and Jeff Garcia as well as a pretty good quarterback for us back in the day. So he needs to be more humble. We know the talent is there, but if he was humble and he worked hard to harness his craft, and RG3's in the same boat, he can be so much better than what he's shown the last couple of years.
Well, yeah, and I understand that. Now, the thing is, too, is that you guys still really don't have any top receivers. So
yeah, well, that's a whole other story. But
I already told you that. I already told you that they sent me a letter and asked me that I want to play cornerback, and I shredded it. So hey.
You should take that money. That football money is real money.
Hey Terry, you can't play quarterback in a three-piece suit, buddy. Sorry.
Hey, Deion Sanders did it.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if he tried.
That's true.
Deion.
Mark, you're gonna give the whole group, give your Super Bowl predictions. You're gonna talk about the college finals, last two standing also. What's your Super Bowl?
Can I talk about expectations for my boys? No.
No. Please.
I hate expectations.
You don't want me to hurt nobody's feelings, I guess, huh?
My feelings were hurt by this Niners off season. Go ahead. There's nothing I can't handle at this point.
Well, I mean, I think for us though, our off season was. The only thing that really was controversial that is the fact that we lost to Marco Murray. And I wasn't too upset about it. A lot of people, they've made so much to do about losing to Marco Murray. Now, don't get me wrong, I wanted to keep DeMarco Murray. I knew it was going to be very difficult having both Dez and DeMarco as unrestricted. But I knew if it came down to who was the priority to re-sign first and foremost, it was Dez Bryant. I mean, running backs are not as they're not as a valued commodity anymore in the NFL. I don't understand it, but it isn't. Running backs have never had a real long shelf life, and that's the other thing too. I think Philadelphia truly overpaid for DeMarco Murray. And if they want to do that, fine. They had LaShawn McCoy who still could run, and you didn't want to pay him that much, and you give DeMarco Murray that money. So it didn't make sense to me to do it in that manner. I hate to see DeMarco Murray in the NFC East, but I don't know that DeMarco Murray was going to give us 1,800 yards again. And he definitely didn't need to carry the ball as many times he did last year. I like Julius Randle. Julius Randle ran in spurts. I don't know if he's a workhorse back. I'm not counting on Jerry McFadden, but if it's committing, if Randle can show he can carry the load and we can average about 4 to 4.5, almost 4 to 4.5 yards per carry like we did last season, we fine. We got to play action. I think Romo. I don't want to put it all the time in Romo's hands. I don't like them. This last year, why we had such a great record was because the man wasn't forced to have to bail out every game, and no quarterback has had to fight through the fourth quarter or save games as much as Romo. That's why Romo gets the GOAT of losing games, but he still has more comeback wins of any active quarterback in the league right now for the past 6 or 7 years. So his numbers and what he does speak for himself, but we need to put him in a better situation more consistently. I like the improvement of our defense. Losing Scandrick hurts, but I like the fact that our front seven is going to be pretty tough and stay healthy. Sean Lee got to stay healthy. Can he play? Can he last more than 6 or 7 games? That's the thing. And this is the last chance to do that.
Hey, Mark, I got a question.
Sure.
In those comebacks of Tony Romo you mentioned, it's true. How many Super Bowls do they have?
Well, no, we haven't gotten any Super Bowls, but that's a team situation. The fact of the matter is that we haven't
hate it when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, but I know that I'm saying I asked that to say that many people put that down to the quarterback at the end, but it takes the team. Now, I'm gonna tell you what Tony Romo hasn't done. He hasn't driven us down to the 3 or 4 yard line and then threw an interception to Richard Sherman. Can you think of anybody that did that?
Well, anyway. You know what? He can always do the old Aaron Rodgers and not throw it towards Richard Sherman's side. That's always an option.
and I get that. I don't see Richard Sherman as that shutdown type of corner. When we played Seattle last year in Seattle, Dennis Bryant had a very good game against Richard Sherman.
He did, yeah.
So,
He benefits from the system more than the player. I would consider a number of cornerbacks better than he is in this league right now. He's just the most vocal, and he plays on the best defense in the league the last 3 years, so that works in his favor.
I can't say a number. I would say I like Patrick Peterson much. I like Patrick Peterson.
I like Vontae Davis. Vontae Davis over in Indianapolis is a beauty.
Yeah, Joe Haddon. I like Joe Haddon as well, and
Joe Hayden, yeah.
Darrell Reeves still got locked down on that side of the corner.
He does,
so,
yeah.
But I think the Cowboys, and I didn't have expectations last year. We had a great season, but I will say that it's a little mystery. But I will put them, and I think that they should win the division. Maybe not as convincingly, but they'll win the division.
So these are your Super Bowl picks?
What do you think about that, Terry?
Say again?
What do you think about that?
About the Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
I needed to laugh.
You remember that game the last time we played, Terry? Think about that.
I'll tell you this, and because I'm a football fan, I think that Dallas will win their division, but I think that's as far as it goes. But they will win their division. See, they benefit from having a weak division, which is good for them. So, I think that's what we're going on. I mean, if you look at it,
I will say to you this, Terry. I get that. Right now, we don't have the number of teams that are probably top elite playoff caliber teams. People think of Philadelphia up there. I don't count the Giants out. They have 2 Super Bowls in recent times. Philadelphia, to me, I think either Chip Kelly knows something we don't know from what he did in the movie. It makes no sense, and I think they're going to be shown. But what people don't realize, and it goes back to something you just said earlier, Terry. I'm going to say this much. You made it say, I understand you're a Bears fan, and talking about that rivalry between the Bears and Packers. I'm going to tell you right now, biggest rivalry in football is the Cowboys-Redskins. And I'm going to say this to you, and that's a fact, and I'm going to say, in the NFC East, we play each other. From the worst team to the first team, we come at it. None of those games are gimmies. None of those games are gimmies. And the NFC West probably had the strongest of teams to say they had the best division in that sense as far as the NFC East. I mean, as far as the NFC as a whole. But as far as inter-division rivalries between the Cowboys, Skins, Eagles, and Giants, there's nothing more intense than that. Nothing more intense than that.
It's definitely an intense rivalry. I'll give you that.
I mean, all those games, none of those teams like each other.
Hey, and I live in D.C. now, and if you mention Cowboys or Philly up here, and they're Redskin fans, they be wanting to fight you, man. So I agree with you on that.
And in case you didn't know, Terry, I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C.
Okay. What's up?
I know.
Yeah, well, the Deadskins are talking too damn much. They're doing more infighting with themselves than they are with the Cowboys, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
And you've heard of a team backing into playoffs. The Giants backing into the season. Already 7 points. All the injuries appear, and a couple others. So the Giants are backing into this season down by 7 because of all the injuries that they have, and the Redskins talk too damn much. So it's a 2-horse race between the Cowboys and the Eagles in that particular division.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, and Terry, you see in D.C., I mean, and believe me when I tell you, I've told this to Michelle, I'm a D.C. fan all the way around with the rest of the team. The only team I don't pull for in D.C. are the Skins. But being there, Terry, who's the number 1 team in that city?
It's Dallas.
The Skins.
By far.
Yeah.
By far.
No, it's the Bullets when Gilbert Arenas was there. Remember? I'm sorry, they're the Wizards now. My bad. Sorry. We're not promoting gang activity on the show here. My bad.
It's okay. I ain't mad. I tell you this much. As far as the Skins are concerned, people talk about the Packers and how they got great fans. Man, please. I was a kid growing up in the mid '80s.
They do have great
The
fans.
Skins had sellout seats all year round, season pass. The waiting list in 1982 went to 2003. That was a waiting list in '82 in Washington D.C. for the Skins.
That's a good.
Now you can get them. Now you can get the tickets at the grocery store now.
Hey, Mark.
Go ahead, Steve.
All right, guys.
Field is the same size as the city of Green Bay.
I see Tim.
Every fan can attend the game.
Exactly.
Tim is Mike. Tim, unmute your mic because it's your turn, buddy. Tim, unmute your mic, dude. Wait for it. Things stay the same, guys, whether we're on the radio or, video or whatever. Tim is Tim. Let's see.
Hey, you know what? If you combine video and radio together, it would be radio. We're doing radio right now.
Radio.
Video and radio hybrided.
Up, where are you?
Video.
Okay, so while we wait on Tim, Mark, go on and do your Super Bowl predictions, and we'll ask the other guys too.
Okay, well, and don't be surprised at this point. I'm putting my team there because they're due. I think Romo's due, and I'm going to say the Dallas Cowboys are going to kick in the door and get to the Super Bowl this year. And who they'll play from the AFC? I'm going to say the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts are improving and getting better. Andrew Luck is getting better. They put some people around him. It's going to be curious to see whether Frank Gore got anything left in the tank.
Go out and come back on.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yeah, he was just calling. I guess he can't take the mute off. I just told him to go out and come back in. So you said the Indianapolis Colts and who else? The Seahawks?
No, ma'am. The Dallas Cowboys.
All right, wait. I got to find my...
If you're not on top of it, it really blows the joke.
That sounded like a movie trailer for a crime drama.
It would be a crime if the Cowboys got in this year. That's all I have to say.
Why would it be a crime?
For the simple fact that it means the Steelers did not get there.
That's a good one.
The thing is that because the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl doesn't mean the Steelers can't get there. In case you know, we're in a different conference. Michelle?
That was Steve's answer, Mark.
Yeah.
No, I understand, but I'm saying, why would it be a crime? I know, but I'm saying, plus you laughed at it anyway.
I laughed at
it. Exactly. I threw it right by her, Mark.
I laughed
See
at
how
it.
that works?
It was funny. I laughed at it because, okay, so like I asked, who did I ask? I asked Steve what he thought his team has done to improve to be better this season than it was last. So you tell me, you guys didn't look bad. You surprised people last season, as a matter of fact, Mark. So
we didn't look bad. We went 12-4, Michelle.
That's what I'm saying. I said you surprised people. So because they had all kind of Romo jokes. But at the end of the season, people kind of hushed up with that. So tell me what else you guys have done to where you feel that you have final type progress.
Well, I mean, that's a good question. And, yeah, I mean, people always have the Romo jokes, stuff like that. I think people know he can play. They just having fun with it because if he figures out, they're scared. But I think the fact is that what's gotten better for us is the draft picks. Brandon Jones, the corner, the DB from the DB, he can play corner or safety. He's such a young player. He's picking it up. He's working hard. He's got so much skill and athletic ability. That would be something to behold. I think that the addition of getting Greg Hardy definitely is going to be a big thing. Also, I think Randy Gregory is going to be a beast. Randy Gregory is going to be. Again, we came up and took risks. Randy Gregory was not supposed to be available in the second round. He was projected as a top 5 or 10 draft pick. And then also on top of that is that we were able to get Lyle Collins out of LSU, and who was undrafted based on a fabricated story on him about a sexual assault at LSU that was found out to be a fabrication. But nobody, and even they found out before that, all the teams still backed off of it. Cowboys were able to get him in the camp, and he was also considered the top lineman. In fact, a top 2 or 3 draft pick projected by talent-wise, but nobody drafted him. So we stole. It's like basically we had 3 picks in the first round, and 2 of them in the top 10 last year. So with McClain, and he's cut off his substance abuse penalty in 4 years. 4 games, 4 weeks. Hardy comes off. If we come off better than 2-2 and say we go 3-1, because we do play the Patriots in the first 4 games.
Right.
Man, with those guys coming in, we're gonna be nice. I think the additions we got, and I think the growth. And I'm gonna say one other thing too. Coming out of the Dallas camp, Morris Claiborne was left for dead. They say basically he's looking good because he's fighting for his career right now. So I like him being in that position. So that's what I think will improve us and our confidence in how we played from last year.
Okay, Terry, what about your Bears?
What do you want to know? There's so much exciting things happening.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah, Chicago, not the Bears. We're talking about the Bears, Terry, not Chicago.
Hey. All right, so I would say
for horses.
I'm a realist.
Keep it real. Tell us they're going to be bad.
I'm going to be honest with you, and I know people are going to laugh when I say this, but I think Jacob's going to have a hell of a season this year.
You're right. We laughed.
And you got to look at it because this is it for him when it comes to Chicago. Like if he does not produce this year, it's over. And I think that he's going to be pretty good. Now our receiving core is pretty good. We got a tough break by losing White for 6 games. But when he comes back, I think that'll be pretty good with him. Matt Ford is healthy. But I'm going to tell you a running back that you need to look out for the Bears, and a lot of people don't hear about him yet because he's a rookie, and that's Langford from out of Michigan State. This kid is exciting, and he's electrifying. And so he's going to surpass Matt Forte in the next year or so. Because this is a contract year for Matt Forte. So if he has a good season, then they may not resign Matt Forte if Jeremy Langford has a good season. But I'm a realist for the Super Bowl picks. I say it's going to be I like what Mark said. I'm actually going to go with the Colts for the AFC. And for the NFC, I'm going to go with I love the Bears, but I'm a realist. So I'm going to go with Seattle again. And those are my picks.
I'm going with Seattle. I'm just not. I don't know who that second team's going to be.
I really like the Colts, but I also like Peyton Manning too. But I like the Colts.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
I think that's a good thing. I think actually the Bears. I have them sleeper probably coming in second place in the Central because I do think Jay Cutler is playing for his life right now.
Right.
I think he's hearing the criticism, and I think Price will step in.
Right, and like I said, everyone noticed today how much he took an approach, like with White, the new wide receiver that we got, the rookie. He's been taking the guy around. He's been actually being more of a leader, stuff that he wasn't doing initially. So I think he finally got his aha moment. And I think he's really going to surprise. I actually think he's going to play better than Aaron Rodgers in his first game. I guarantee you that. You heard it first, live on the Sports Talk Radio. You heard it from
Quit playing, Terry. Quit playing.
live in effect. You heard it first.
He also,
And October 4th, Tim, I will be at that Bears Raiders game October 4th in Chicago.
allow me to interject my own guarantee here, people. I guarantee you the Kansas City Chiefs will have at least one touchdown this year. Guaranteed.
Kansas City Chiefs or
Because
what?
you know they had none last year, right? Not 3, not 2, not 1, none.
Last year.
All right, I see
Hey,
Tim's back
Tim.
in the house.
Tim, I'm gonna
Tim's
be at that. I'm gonna be at that Raiders Bears game this year, brother.
Oh, Tim,
You sound like the chipmunks over there, man. We got-
Tim, you sound like a chipmunk again. Stop talking. You sound like a chipmunk.
He's speaking. He's in. Hey, Michelle. He's in tongues right now over how funny this show is. I'm telling you.
Tim, fix your audio. I have to mute you until you fix your audio, dear. Fix that audio, Tim. You do sound like the chipmunks, really.
Yeah.
Seriously. There you go.
Better?
Laker Tim.
Yeah, there you go.
Laker Tim in the house. Look on the left.
Coming to the Raider game, Raider Chicago game when you come to Chicago, when they come to Chicago.
That's right. October 4th, I'll be in Chicago for the Bears Raiders game, Tim.
That'll be that week.
Tell me where you're sitting so I can send you some tissue.
Okay.
All right, since Tim is back, Tim was going to tell us a little bit about the new seating for the NBA for basketball and the ramifications, because it's going to kill the process of divisions, because why would you?
No, Michelle, no, it's not killing divisions. It's not killing divisions.
That's what it did.
Well, no, what it meant, Michelle, was that I don't know what division was that where I think it was the Trailblazers that because they won their division. No, they're still going to be division winners, Michelle, but they're going to seed them according to records, which is what they should have done.
Tim, why can't we see your head, your face? Why where are you?
You know what I mean?
The camera fell.
I told the audience that Tim just got the camera. His camera was broken. Tell me how you can break a desktop camera. I don't know that's on the computer, but he broke his. What'd you get? A Logitech, Tim?
Yeah, I got it. Logitech.
Okay, so he got a Logitech, so he's still working on it, guys. So.
Hey, nice. Hey, Michelle, nice product placement. Hey, Michelle, nice product placement there. They ought to hire you as a spokeswoman.
We can see you now. Okay, so go ahead. Yeah, I know there's still going to be the division winners, but it won't mean anything. Is the conference is what's going to be important, right? So go ahead and.
Well, it will mean something for teams like the Clippers who can't win a conference championship or NBA championship. They can win a Pacific Division championship. So it will mean something for some teams.
Trash talk to do. We'll still trash talk them.
Well, but it's going to seed them as according to records from the best in the conference to the worst. So they'll be seeded based on their records, 1 through 8, no matter where they finished in the division, if they were a division champ. So, like if just say Oklahoma, Portland, and I'm trying to think who else is in that division, Utah. Say they have the best 3 records, they will get the best 3 seeds. Or like Houston, San Antonio, Dallas. The teams with the best record, and it works out that way, and it's the best team, playing the worst team, and that's the way it should have been. So that's all they did. They still keep division champions, but who cares if you win the division championship unless you're a Clippers fan.
So basically, if you have a better record, that team with a better record. we'll get the.
You're
They're going to see.
echoing, Steve.
They're going to see them 1 through 8 based on their records, not based on division championships anymore. Whereas the 3 division champions got, they got the top 3 seeds, and then the 3 division champions were guaranteed one of the first 4 spots. But now they're gonna just seed it according to your record now in the conference.
That's cool.
Really? Is that Steve?
That's fair.
You're not going to the bathroom, are you? I hear water in the background. I hope you didn't
Come on,
go to the
Steve.
bathroom. But
Oh hell no! I'm right here. Right here.
So Tim, what I read and what I thought they were talking about is, so like in the East, there are teams that aren't that good at all, but they still go to the playoffs because they win because they're playing other teams that aren't that good, and they may place higher than possibly teams that were good. So they may go higher. Is that what they're trying to stop?
No, Michelle. All right, put it this way, Michelle. The top 8 teams that win the most games, they're going to get seeded like that. Doesn't matter how bad they are in the East. If you're one of the lucky teams that have the 8th best record, you're going to go to the playoffs. No matter where you finish in the division. I'll put it this way, Michelle. Say that team won the division, but there were 4 teams in all the other divisions that finished better than that team. That team that won that division with the 9th best record is not going to the playoffs. You're seeding, Michelle, 1 through 8. How you need to look at it is look at it as conference standings as opposed to division standings. Just throw the divisions out, although they're going to still play in divisions. Just throw out the divisions and look at it as far as the conference standings are concerned. That's how you look at it this year. Just, don't worry about looking at it as far as divisions are. Look at the conference standings, and the teams that finish 1 through 8, those are the ones who are going through the playoffs.
Okay. So we'll start with Steve. What do you think about that, Steve? Do you think that was smart?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's a merit-based league. If you have a record good enough to get into the playoffs, if you have a record good enough to be seated higher than another team, even if they win their division, I think that's perfectly fair. And I also think it's going to make the regular season better because now teams, are not going to be able to fall back. Oh, we can win the division. We're a top 4 seed. No, we got to go out and earn our particular seed, regardless of when we win our division or not. So that's going to make the regular season better. And Lord knows the NBA, of all the leagues, could use a much more stimulating regular season than it's been for years now. And then when you get into the playoffs, you have a much more fair format, which is going to make for much more competitive series, in my opinion.
Okay, what about you, Terry?
I couldn't have said it any better than what Steve said. I actually like the whole transition, and I think it's probably going to benefit the West Coast more so than the East.
Yeah, Michelle, what you're going to see also is the fact that, like, with a week or 2 weeks remaining, these teams can't, like Steve said, can't sit back and say, well, I got this, I'm going to pick up this 4th spot regardless because I'm a division winner. Portland technically should have been seeded number 6, although they were seeded number 4, and that earned them home court advantage for the first round. Mm-hmm. Although they were beat. If I'm not mistaken, they were beaten the first round.
But they were, yep.
And I can't and basically, Michelle, when you see those teams 1 through 8, you basically it falls into place. And what I mean by that, rarely does a one, it's happened before. I think we've probably known it's happened like 3 times, guys, where an 8 has beat a 1. I know the famous Mutombo over Seattle when he was with Denver, and there was another one that beat an 8. An 8 that beat a 1. But 9 times out of 10, Michelle, most of the time, the 1 is going to beat the 8, the 2 is going to beat the 7, and you're going to have, after the first round, you're going to have the best 4 teams, technically, unless somebody doesn't show up to play, unless there's some lucky shots. You're going to have the best 4 teams in the conference playing in the semifinals. and you'll have the best two. By the time you get to the best four, in my opinion, anybody can win it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have it's gonna be the seeding will be fair, a little bit fairer, Michelle, in basketball. Basically, especially in the West, when it comes down to the end of the season, these teams they're gonna be jockeying for position, home court advantage. That 4 and 5, whoever's in that 4 and 5, that's gonna be a war. And if they happen to have to play each other a couple times in the last 2 weeks, those gonna be some good games.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you know what? You build good habits. You build good habits in the regular season that translate to playoff success. This format is going to force teams to develop better habits in the regular season.
Like
Michelle,
Yeah.
Michelle,
Is that me?
Michelle,
Bring the funk on a nasty dunk.
Michelle,
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
One question I want you to ask these guys, because you asked me today, is when
What's
did
that?
Serena surpass Venus as a better tennis player?
About 10 years ago.
Okay. So
Yeah, I
what
was gonna say when I was born, maybe.
I want to say welcome to Robert, who has joined us here. What I wanted to ask you guys is, do you think that Serena passed Venus? Because Venus, of course, she dominated at first, and then her little sister kind of just took the reins. So I'll start with you, Terry.
Venus did not dominate in the beginning. Michelle, you're wrong. Serena's always dominated. I told you that. Serena won the first Grand Slam.
No, in '98.
Serena won 3 before Venus won 1.
Right, you're talking about once she started winning the Grand Slam and everything, but prior to that, Venus was beating her sister, but not championship-wise. So you said 1998 that you believe that.
Well, 1999 when Serena won the U.S. Open in 1999, in my opinion, with that victory, she surpassed Venus as the better tennis player. She went on to win 2 more Grand Slams before Venus would even win her first. And remember, Michelle, that Serena holds a head-to-head matchup, and she also holds a Grand Slam matchup 22-7. In my opinion, others may differ. When Serena won the 1999 U.S. Open, she was a better tennis player than Venus. That's my opinion.
Okay, Terry.
I think now Serena is, but Venus was to me in the initial part of their career. I think it was Venus. She was dominating a lot of stuff as well. But I watched a little bit of that tennis match the other day, and it almost I saw the interview that before they actually played, and Venus said in the interview that I actually want my sister to win. So
I told you that, Michelle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's almost like they were playing hard, but I watched some of the game. It's like she just pretty much gave her the victory. Like, here you go, little sis, have fun with it.
Yeah. Well, I watched the entire game, Terry, and I kind of agree with you in a way, because you saw Venus's strength,
Yeah.
and Venus was playing very, very, very well. And that last set, she hit a lot of balls in the net.
Yeah.
And watching from the beginning up to that point was just like a change of the tide. I mean, it almost seemed like she was doing it on purpose. I don't know. There was an article in the New York Post. It was in the New York Post, and it mentioned about giving Serena the game. Now I think toe to toe, even if she would have played, I'm thinking Serena would have won. But I think Venus backed up a little bit. She did back off a little bit.
Mr. Williams signaled from the crowd. He said, "Hey, look, you got to take this L. Our money's on Serena. The family's money's on her. She's a world recognized figure. She's obviously the #1 in the sport." And I agree with you. If they were to play full out head to head, it would be a more challenging match. But Serena would come out on top. She's physically more dominant. She's got a better coverage of the court, and she's just all around a better athlete. when you come down to it. Venus had the nod in the beginning because she was a senior. She had a little bit more presence on the court. She knew how to handle herself in front of a crowd and in front of the public, and that's why she may have came off, to some circles a little bit stronger in the earlier part of her career. But Serena has always possessed the physical dominance a little bit more than her sister. She's got more bite on her game than Venus does.
Hey,
Yeah, Michelle, if I may, I agree with Terry as far as in the beginning it was Venus. She was the Williams to watch, for lack of a better way of putting that. I'm with Robert on this one, though, and mind you, there's some conspiracy theories going on in the panel right now, and I get that. But maybe she was putting it into them, meaning Venus, because she got tired of Serena Williams being able to play at a high level throughout the whole match, and maybe at some point it caught up to Venus a little bit, who's not as in good a shape as Serena is, although she's in good shape in and of herself. But I don't know if there's so much Venus was giving the game away as that maybe she didn't have much of a choice because she got tired at the point. That's why a lot of balls may go into the net because you lose the power on your returns, and that's when those types of things can happen.
I'm sorry, man. I see the big picture here. The big picture was Venus would have. If Venus won, she had a chance to become one of the oldest in the tournament to win that Grand Slam. But with Serena winning, and the big picture is this hasn't been done in 27 years. And I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of people are looking. Michelle, you even mentioned that the women's outsold the men this year.
Yeah.
At the U.S. Open. Why? Because they're there to see. They're not there to see Venus. They're there to see Serena. It would have been a big disappointment. And I understand, maybe what if Venus did beat Serena? There would have been a lot of disappointment because of what she's going after. Something like I said that hasn't happened in 27 years.
Triple Crown.
Come on. No one. There are a lot of people who follow Serena. But, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who are under the age of 25 who have never seen a Grand Slam in tennis on the female side. Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe Federer has
Tim,
done.
I'm going to cross that off my bucket list then. I can sleep tightly. I can sleep soundly knowing that Serena's finally done it. So bucket list number 1018 now crossed off.
I agree with Terry. I 100% agree with him. It's one of those things like the Triple Crown and horse racing.
Yeah, we got a chance to
something that. Exactly. So then that's why I also point to the fact that maybe Venus might have let off the gas a little bit. She knows it. Her family knows it. They're very big students of the sport, and also like you said earlier. Female tennis is way more dominant in America than male tennis, and that's because we don't have a male champion to go against.
Soccer too.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But once again, champions. We got a female champion competitive team. We don't have a male competitive team in soccer. Our national team can get blown out by the Kitty League from Uruguay. So we're not going to pay attention to them. You know what I mean?
Michelle,
hey, you know what?
Michelle, by the way, Rob is a Bears fan, so just to throw that out.
Yeah.
Yes,
hey, you know what though, Michelle? You know what though, guys? Consider the success of the women's soccer team and of Serena and Venus Williams as Title IX finally working in this country. How about that?
Yeah.
They're bringing that up. They're bringing that up. The fact that Title IX, like post Title IX, look at female tennis. Look at the women's soccer. I believe, and look at
pride and
softball,
joy.
Even though it's not an Olympic sport anymore.
Not yet. It's going to happen. Watch. See it.
The dominance is there. Hey, maybe let's look at women's swimming too, because when the East German girls were dominating, they had steroids before steroids were steroids.
Right.
But now, the U.S. women, they're, like you said, Title IX. Look how, even in track and field, American women, it was those, those East German girls and Russian women that were winning the 100-yard dash, and you try to say to yourself, ain't no way. But,
Flo Jo, Jackie Joyner Kersey, Florence Griffith Joyner, Marion Jones. Oh wait, did I say Marion Jones? Never mind. My bad.
Yeah, you got to give her
She
her
still
just.
had to run those races.
Yeah.
The steroids didn't run the races for her.
Wait, I was going to say, was she running the races or was steroids doing it for her? Yeah, so.
She was a powerful woman.
The title line is working.
She was the A-Rod of she was the Ray-Rod of track racing.
Exactly. And he's still getting money. And that's my other team, the Yankees. And I was not expecting him to
All
come
right, my man. Nice to meet you, Robert.
Yes, indeed. Nice to meet you, Tiff. That's my squad.
Michelle.
I forgive you for being a Bears fan like Terry for that one, Robert.
Man.
Wow.
Oh, man. That's all right.
You know what, Robert? You just came on. We've done quite a bit of show, but I'm gonna play a song. We're gonna come back to you, and you could talk about any topic you want. Everybody had their own topic, so you could talk about any topic you want with the guys. Okay? So I'm gonna
all right.
Just take a little break. We're gonna play this song, and we'll be back in a few.
Well, you can tell everybody.
Is he gonna dance this time?
Go ahead and tell everybody.
Yeah, come on, Robert. Everybody dance with Tim. Come on, Robert.
You the man, you the man.
Come on, Robert. Where'd your picture go, Robert? Come on, Robert.
You just gotta hold the fist up. You just gotta hold the fist up on this one. You just hold the fist when you look at him. I'm the
Telling you.
I'm the man, and I'm the man.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta play some Luke during the next break.
That's a profile song. That ain't really a dance
Come on,
song.
Terry.
Oh no, who gonna walk?
I can't do nothing.
I gotta play this one on one of my walks actually.
Okay,
You the man, you the man.
Put it in chat, Terry. The name of the song.
Song is sick. So Robert, how did the Yankees gonna do in the playoffs this year? Did we got a chance to go to the World Series?
Boy.
I think we got a chance if our offense could get hot.
That's the difference. That's the difference. If they decide to go cold like they've done a couple of times in the years, they're not gonna get out of there. Because these guys in these small ball games, like you saw what Kansas City did last year. So if you can't generate any kind of offense and put them dudes out on the plate, you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have
you gotta have that
problem.
timely hitting.
I would like to see a Subway Series.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see that myself. Oh, actually, I'd like to see Dodgers Yankees. I think Dodgers Yankees would be a great series to watch. That's a series I would watch for.
That would be.
Don Mattingly managing against his old team, so.
Right. That would be nice.
Even Joe Torre would have to get misty-eyed. Being a manager of both teams at one point in his career, he'd have to get misty-eyed over a series like that.
If we could get A-Rod to keep hitting like he's doing in the regular season, because that's usually when he falls apart. He's traditionally he does good in regular season. It's the postseason. All of a sudden he can't hit. So
remember when
if he can do that, that'll totally blow.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that because remember the only World Series that A-Rod has won, 2009 with the Yankees, that was a postseason where he finally put it all together. So yeah, if he could put it together in this, he did it over.
And they got to have a veteran lead from the front, being with they're not being there, and what's my man, the reliever,
Kansas?
Yeah.
No, our pitching is loaded.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like to that leadership presence, like you said with Jeter and my man, that helps to push some young guys, all the way forward. And they can get behind him, and then they can start making their bats work.
Yeah.
You'll have.
Yeah, you got a good.
We'll have a chance.
Yeah, you got a good point on that one. A veteran that's been there before. So.
Okay, we got We have a
Right.
request by Terry, so we're about to play this song for Terry. It's called "Trick Daddy Shut Up." This is what I say to the Raider fans, by the way. Okay, go ahead.
Terry, you got to make it wop now. You got to get on the chair and do something, man.
Trick Daddy out of Miami with the 2 gold teeth.
That's right.
MIAO.
He's not tricking.
Back
He's not
before
tricking
Rick.
with them gold teeth. Let me tell you, there's no trick about that. They should change. They should change it to Direct Daddy because those teeth speak directly to his audience.
Oh, with a slight odor. If you ever
Take
saw
a
somebody
rip.
with gold teeth in their mouth, that metal doesn't work well.
You remember when you remember when Nilly was singing about grills? That's exactly what he was talking about.
Yes, the grills.
Terry,
what's cracking?
Your grill.
Let's go.
Go ahead, Terry.
All we can see is your hat, Terry. All we can see is
Exactly.
your
Right.
That's because he's bending over and touching his toes. Gotta get low when
Okay,
him
come on, Tim. Come on,
If I get low, you won't be able to see me.
Man, I won't get up.
Go, Tim.
The elevator don't work. Goes down to the ground floor.
I'll be
and
like,
get back up.
Let me see, y'all. Come on, Robert.
Hey, Rob, next time you gotta wear some Chicago Bears related.
And
Man.
look, hold on. I got the Walter Payton already sitting right over here. That ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Or
Sweetness.
I heard y'all talking about Forte. So there goes 40.
I'm with you.
40, 40.
Come on, Mark.
You know.
Hey, everybody. Sorry, I had a little technical difficulties with my phone. Nothing to do with the bill phone and stuff. I'm
Oh,
home
that's
now.
hey, Mark. That's why it got so quiet. That's why it got so quiet here. Mark disappeared.
Just like the Cowboys.
Oh no. Look, my wife a Cowboys fan, so I can't talk too much stuff with her. There goes that girly star. I mean that Cowboy star.
That star ain't got no shine.
It's all about that.
I can't wait to get back down to Florida.
MIAO, let's see it.
Now we got the nerd.
Hey Robert. Yeah, hey Robert. Are you second guessing coming on this show at this point?
No, not at all. Why would I do that?
Go, Robert. Go, Robert. Go, Robert.
I'm just playing.
Go, Robert. All right, Terry, that's enough of your song.
Okay.
Terry, you done picked up them dollars off the
All
ground?
right, Terry, that's enough of your song.
Who's got $1 million smile?
No.
This guy. That guy.
We have Robert to our group. Welcome to our group, Robert.
Hey.
We talked about a lot of stuff, so you go on and, throw something out there. What's your topic?
Well, I guess my topic would be, as I walk through the dark looking like a creepy guy, is I love hip-hop. And I love music in general. And my thing is, where did the real hip-hop go? It's out there, but as we get, bombarded with the media and entertainment, it just seems like there's more prevalence of BS and not too many people trying to find substance.
That's true.
And that seems to work not even
Preach
just
it,
in
preach
music.
it, brother.
Yes, and not even just music, but also all different genres in entertainment. You see that we got to watch, wealthy grown women act like 14-year-old schoolgirls with daddy issues, and that's what sells.
You're talking about Kardashians.
Right, exactly. And more importantly for me, once again, like I said, I got children. I don't know how many of y'all do. What are you showing these kids?
Right.
And what are you presenting, to them? What kind of image are you indoctrinating them with? And like I said, I know my parents had a problem with my music, but I listened to Wu, Tribe Called Quest, PE, NWA, Yeah, they were cussing. Yeah, some of this stuff was, a little bit misogynistic. But at the core, it was real lyrics, and especially in relation to groups like PE, Tribe Called Quest, NWA, there was a message behind the cursing. You had to listen to it. Pac, is being studied in Harvard.
True.
Same thing with Nas's lyrics. So I grew up in that era where, for one, for you to get recognition from a fan, you had to bring lyrical skills. You had to have bars, as the kids say these days. But nowadays, it's more about the
Beat.
producer and the beat and turning up. Right. I listened to
Bucks.
new release from a guy named Razkaz from out in California,
Oh wow.
and at the end of his track, yeah, you remember Razkaz?
Oh
He's still
yeah.
doing his thing. He had a song with him, Mos Def, and a couple other old heads. And at the end, he had an interview that he had did where he was talking to a young lady, and it went down the line where she had stated, he asked her, he's like, well, what about lyrics, basically? And she, very nonchalantly answered with, we don't care about lyrics. All I want to do is turn up. Forget the lyrics. And that's because that's what like I said, like for me, how I grew up looking for lyrics because that's what was out there and that's what I got to see and that's what I got to be exposed to. These younger cats are not exposed to that, so all they care about is turning up. I watched a little documentary video breaking down about how music and entertainment is attacking our young men, heterosexual preference and demasculating them with their choice of dress, pointing out once again I'm not homophobic. You do what you want to do in your own closed doors, but when you're constantly being bombarded with that and you're attacking the youth, I have a problem with that. If they want to make that choice on their own regard, perfectly fine. Do what you want to do. But you don't. How much of a choice is it if you're constantly digesting that and receiving that type of message over and over again and being told that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. Got
Yeah,
young boys
I
being
totally
so
agree.
tight.
I totally
Amen,
agree.
Reverend.
And something that I told my daughter because I have a 13-month-old granddaughter, and my daughter
Mhm,
plays the music of this day. The rap music of this
mhm,
day. F
mhm,
this, this,
mhm.
this, blah blah blah. You know what I
Right,
mean? And
right.
so I
Just
told her,
just
I said,
senseless bull.
play that with the baby there because she's
Right,
learning, she's listening, she's trying to figure
right,
out words. And I told her
right,
that is not the right thing to do. But what you said is absolutely true. Every time period, the older people in the older generation say something about their music. So
right,
it goes back past the 60s, 50s,
right,
whatever. The
right, right,
generation before that had something to say
right,
about the music.
right,
70s, it was turn out the lights. It was,
right. Yeah,
is the
Marvin got a lot of
brothers
slack.
and that type
Before
of
you
thing.
turn
Marvin
off
got
the
a lot of heat.
light.
So it's a lot of sex stuff, but it wasn't as graphic. So I mean, it's gotten more. 2015, it has gotten where it's almost like nothing is left to the imagination.
No, it isn't. It's
So
totally
Everything is
that
recycled.
veil. Right. That's the other thing too. It's
And we
not too
recycle
much
everything in this country.
creativity. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. From lyrics to beats
To
to
movie
movies.
titles.
Yes. TV shows. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything that's already done is being done again.
Yeah.
And
Did
it's
you know
like,
there were 3
okay,
World Series out there?
really?
Yeah, World
Oh,
Series of World Series of poker, World Series of volleyball.
right,
Poker
right. That's true. That's
wins.
true. They couldn't even come up with their own titles in their respective sports.
Hmm.
And that kind of takes away. If I was a fan of those sports, it would kind of take away from the fandom. Why do we
The
have to have our
mystique.
title named after exactly something another sport has already done? So,
mhm.
but like in reference to the young ladies and everything like that, like what you were saying with children, especially young children, they're sponges. We don't give them enough credit for how much they are able to absorb and retain. This is how they learn their world. You wonder why, young ladies and young men grow up to have dysfunctional relationships and problems and such is because that's what they were used to. That's what they were trained to. That's what they were seeing on a daily basis. This is normal for them. That's why they can't see anything wrong with not having a father in the home or having a child and having your significant other just leave you and you I'm a powerful woman. I can take care and raise this young boy to become a man. No, you cannot. It takes a man to raise a man, just like it takes a woman to raise a young lady. And you got to have both pieces for both parts. Because a man needs to show a daughter how to
Robert,
be loved by a man.
I just have to say, Robert, sometimes they don't have a choice. Sometimes
Yeah, sometimes you're right. You're right.
there's
Sometimes
no
you're
choice.
100% correct. You're 100% correct there.
I
But
want to see if
with
your
the
buddy,
percentage of it,
wants to respond to anything you said. He's sitting there smiling like that's my boy. So Terry, what do you have to say? What he said about the music or
Well, I'm 38, so I got a chance to see NWA and Nas and Biggie and everybody when they was at their peak, and the lyrics was what really got you. If you was a good lyricist, then you was respected in the streets. But like
hmm
now, I mean, I hear some of
hmm
these rappers like Soldier Boy and all these other rappers, and I'm like, how did you get
how do
signed?
you got a deal?
And
Right.
so,
How did you
and
get a
so
deal?
it got to the point now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I listen to Sirius Satellite Radio, but I
hmm
started listening. Sirius Satellite Radio has a new radio station called SM Fly.
hmm
Um, and I listen to that honestly because that's the 80s and 90s music that they play, and that's all you're gonna hear is 80s and 90s. So I listen to that because I can't even take none of this other crap anymore.
Yeah.
So I got a 16-year-old daughter, so of course
hmm
she's gonna be exposed to what's new and what's hot. So I get myself familiarized with some of the stuff because you have to, but I'm kind of disappointed. And I told my daughter this the other day. I would hate being a kid right now in this era. I was perfectly happy not
But
having the
would
internet
you?
and
But
cell
would
phones
you?
and everything.
hmm Yeah. Yeah. But like, here's the thing: would you know enough to have a problem with it? It's easy to say it from our point of view now because we know enough. We know better.
Right.
But
That's a good
because, like I
point.
said, a lot of these kids don't know any better. This is their norm. Like I was saying earlier, they don't see nothing wrong with it because it's something that they see every day.
Right.
They think this is absolutely, totally 100% cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to, once again, turn up and listen to you talk about, once again, I've always found it funny, even when in our music, when you have a young lady that can dance to a song when the dude's clearly calling you a hoe in it.
right?
He's not talking about me. Well, who else is he talking about? He didn't say nobody's particular name. He's generally calling all young ladies this. He
Yeah.
didn't say he's talking about a woman that he knew from his past that burned him. He's talking, he's generally referencing everybody. You got to be conscious of what you consume and what you
Right.
put into your soul.
I
And
agree.
that's why, there are some young guys out there I know, that are doing it right, but once again, they're not getting the heavy rotation that they should. Like J. Cole did an album this year where he had no features and sold platinum numbers. That's not been done in a long time.
Because
If
he's
ever.
from Carolina, that's why.
Right. Well, because he's from Carolina and the boy spits hot fire, shots at Dylon. But you know what I'm saying? But he's actually, if you've ever listened to the album, he's talking about different situations and things in his life. And once again, it's conscious, it's real, and it's something that you can feel and touch and relate to. But because it's not talking about shooting a club up, selling dope, or smacking a girl around, it didn't see the light of day like that. And it didn't get the recognition from what should be the governing body of music, the Grammys.
Right.
This is what your job is, to find and seek out these type of talents and these type of artists and reward them. Instead, you go to the commercial pop. You got to say, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy nut. You got to think there's something going on with that. Why would you propagate and promote, a whole bunch of, bad imagery unless you want the people to gravitate to that? Just
I
my
agree.
opinion.
That's true.
Hey, Michelle.
Cam, are you there? Oh, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, if I could add to this, I'm an 80s kid myself, and there's a couple of big differences I see with music back in our time and music now. Music back in our time was very much label driven. MCA,
Mm-hmm.
Motown, Def
Mm-hmm.
Jam, Bad Boy, Arista, LaFaze, it just goes on and on and on. And now if I talk to a music artist, I say, have you left your digital footprint? Are you on iTunes? Do you have a website? Are you on MySpace Music? Are you doing shows everywhere that you can? It's a completely different now as far as the music scene. A lot of it's digitized, which is another difference in that. Back in the day, it was driven by instrumentation. Now it's driven by what I would call electronification, as a lot of the music is electronic as opposed to instrumentally driven. And so between the labels going by the waves after the advent of Napster, which completely put the music industry on its heels, and it sounds different in that it's more electronic than it is about instruments. It's completely changed from what I grew up with in the 80s, and it's not as good to me as it used to be. But that being said, Robert, your point is well taken that these kids don't know any better, but they may find out one day that there is something better.
Right.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
That's true. Tim, are you? Oh, there you are, watching TV still. Okay, so
No, actually, Michelle, no, my camera's on my laptop, and I got you guys up on my big screen, so that's why I'm watching the big screen. If I can't get my laptop, it won't work. So my camera's here, but you guys are up on the big screen up there.
Oh wow, okay.
That's why I'm looking up there.
You on the big screen? Hey, Tim.
Just stop, Michelle.
Right,
Put that stuff away.
What do you think about that music thing? I know you have kids. You have do you have grandkids?
Who are you talking to me, Michelle?
Yes.
I only have one child. He's 30, and I have a grandson who's 8.
So what do you think about the music thing?
What do I think about the music today?
Yes.
Well, and this is the honest, and I understand what Robert said, and it's true about the music today, and what everybody is saying is, I don't listen to hip hop today as opposed to like listening to a lot of oldies or rap music from the 70s, from the 80s, and there might be a song occasionally that might grab my attention that's played on the radio, or a new song that comes out. But, Michelle, I'm an oldies guy. I continue to listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire. I continue to listen to my big bands from the 80s. And, I was a big hip-hop guy when I was, back in the 70s when rap started coming out. And that was a rap I enjoyed, even when I was stationed overseas in Germany.
Bad Boys.
And NWA came out, they would not allow NWA's albums in the stores over there. So I had to have them bootlegged over to Germany because they didn't allow them like in the country. But to see, I can't listen to most of the stuff today, and that's. I know you think I'm a boring person, Michelle, but
No,
I do listen to music.
I don't think you're boring, Tim. Did you go see the movie?
The truth comes out.
Not yet. I was going to wait till I go to Daytona, and I was going to go see the movie. So that's been about a week, and I'll be able to see it. Hopefully, it'll still be in theaters.
It'll still be in.
I'm kind of not a theater person anymore, Michelle.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not, especially in light of what's happening today in certain places. Because, Michelle, you might remember this, and who's all in Los Angeles, they may remember this. It was like in the late 80s when some idiot was shooting cars on the freeway.
Oh, yeah.
And I came home on leave, and I was driving. Every time a car passed me, I thought that person was going to shoot me. So,
Yeah, it is scary.
I could not sit in a theater and, and somebody's behind. I wouldn't be able to concentrate. So, most of the time I'll wait for, the movies, the third, fourth week of the movie, or I'll just wait for it to come out. It's just too many idiots out there now. And
yeah, that's sad. It is sad. I mean, with the people shooting people and just, killing people in the church in different places, I mean, it makes you apprehensive to go out and do things like you used to. So I totally what you're saying.
Right.
So, Steve, did you see NWA yet?
Oh, Straight Outta Compton. Absolutely loved it. I thought it was right on the money from what I learned about it. I'm a huge West Coast hip-hop fan. especially when the untouchable death row record was invented by Dr. Dre and, of course, Mary and Suge Knight, and then went from there. So great movie. One of the best movies that I've seen in the theater in a while, and a must-see for anybody that is a hip-hop fan, in my opinion.
Okay, what about you, Terry? Did you see it?
Oh yeah, I saw it. It was actually a pretty good movie. I thought it's better than what I thought it was gonna be. So I was really impressed. I actually like it so much. I'll actually go back and see it again if someone asked me to go back. So it's a pretty good movie.
No, I totally agree. I went to see it. Before I went in, I looked. It said 2.5 hours. I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, I like NWA, but 2.5 hours is 2.5 hours. I remember that Geisha movie or something. It was 2.5 hours, and you could kind of feel it at about an hour and a half or something. It was like, okay, this movie should have stopped like 10 minutes ago. I tell you, you go see the NWA movie, I was waiting for it to continue. Like when Dre said, I'm out, and he said the name of his album that he was going to do,
Yep.
I thought they were going to continue that. And
Aha!
That was a great ending right there. Yeah.
It's funny that you say that, because they're talking about doing a DPG movie, and it's gonna be kind of like a sequel to NWA. It's supposed to pick up and move forward. That's only rumor. My brother in Hollywood told me this. I don't know if it's true.
Okay, well, you know what? That makes sense then, and that's probably why they ended it like that, because it made you feel like, dang, I thought he was going to, it was going to kind of show his progression, at least some of it.
So aftermath, right? And him moving forward with his career, picking up them and all of them.
I think they should, actually, because what are you going to call it? Aftermath. They go right to the credits after that? I thought, they should definitely create a sequel off of that. Call it DP.
You got plenty of stuff for a sequel. You got Suge Knight, Death Row, Bad Boys. There's a sequel right there. Especially, you know.
Yeah, lead right up to when Pac and then you can kind of lead up to the Notorious movie when Pac and Biggie went down. So
it leads up to the East Coast
create a
versus
collage.
West Coast. When the West Coast rappers were jumping on the East Coast rappers.
That's
and
right.
vice versa.
94, 95, 96. Yeah.
It can go on and on. Now that Easy part was a tearjerker though.
Yeah, Suge Knight can have his own Suge Knight can have his own miniseries. Reality stuff.
But you know what? That's what you're looking for as a producer. You want, you see how like I said, once again, Hollywood likes to just run, continuation after continuation, whole bunch of sequels and everything like this.
Until they can't make any more money.
Yeah. How else do you explain Fast and Furious having more sequels than Star Wars?
Right. More series than.
Are you kidding me?
More.
I take you a little upset about that, Steve.
I mean, serious. Listen, I like Fast Cars 6 and all that. That's cool. But more than Star Wars, an all-time great, an all-time heavyweight, that's like comparing in
Hey, you sound like Allen Iverson over there, Steve. Practice. Not a game.
Iverson was one of the greats.
Yes, he was. Too bad he couldn't get
it. They call it a soapbox. I call it a soapbox. That box is not big enough for my feet. Need to make it bigger.
Well, that's good news, Robert. I don't know what next year after they may do it, but I hope it's
probably 2 years.
Well, if Hollywood will do
they got to
it,
promote it, develop it, and all that. Yeah.
Wasn't his movie number 1 for 2 weeks, Michelle?
Yes, it was.
It was.
It was number 1 for 2 weeks.
Yep.
It made a lot of money.
And then
you think it'll win an Academy? You're right.
No. But my mom told me.
I
don't know.
It win some kind of award, Steve.
Number 1 in Britain also.
No, I'm talking about Best Picture. No,
it probably won't win Best Picture.
No.
It won't probably win Best Actor.
That's my point.
So is your mom?
That's my point. I don't watch the Academies. They don't recognize greatness.
Your mom's in England?
None of the awards do.
No, she might as well be. She's watches all kind of British TV shows and stuff like that.
Okay.
No,
Downtown Abbey.
She came. She came back from Italy.
Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, we love to travel.
That's
I'll
one
have my
part of the
camera
world I
working
haven't
Traveling's
seen.
correctly
good.
next time
Traveling's.
it's not working. Look directly at you guys.
Love the
Which-
Laker jersey, Tim. Sick.
I know, Tim, that you were working that. If Mark was on here, he'd be puking right now.
I'm gonna get
Get
you
a
one.
For all we know, he's puking. For all we know, he's puking after how hard he was laughing.
You need to get a Clippers fan on here, Michelle.
I know. We need to get Mike Day or somebody on here. Somebody a Clipper fan. We'll do that for
A true Clippers fan.
Sure.
Oh, wait, a true Clippers fan?
One that was there before.
That's an oxymoron.
They're very far.
A trendy Clippers fan, maybe. A
Right,
trendy.
right.
Oh, I can.
Your audio just
One that got on the last 5 years.
your
Yes, it did,
audio.
'cause
So
you talking
you a
bad about the
Laker
Clippers.
fan, Robert? You a
Billy
Laker,
Crystal's not big enough to be the whole crowd.
you a Laker fan, Robert?
No, I'm a
Who
Bulls.
do you like for basketball?
I like the Bulls. I came up when Jordan was
Bye,
tearing
Felicia.
up the USA Arena.
Bye.
Come on.
Felicia.
I'm not as delusional as Scotty to think that the Bulls all-time team beat the Lakers all-time best. Y'all got like 5 or 6 squads y'all can pull from. But
If the Bulls didn't have Michael Jordan, they wouldn't even be in that discussion.
would
Think about it.
never-
Other than the Michael
we would've
Jordan
never
years,
probably
they have
won
not been a
one.
very successful franchise. You know? Michael Jordan years are the
Right.
exception to the rule with the Bulls.
right. Like you see what we doing these last couple of years with Rose having the faulty glass knee and not being able to sustain himself. So I mean, like I'm a fan, but I'm not a fanatic. You know, that's the root word for fan. So I have a realistic view of my teams. I support them and I'm a root for them, but I'm not going to sit up here and be a Washington Redskins fan and get psyched about the daggone preseason and think we're going to win the whole thing. You know, but
Oh, that's very intelligent of you, Robert.
I
Robert, I
I'm
know
sorry.
some Pittsburgh
And
Steelers.
shut up and just play
Pittsburgh
football.
Steelers fans like that,
I
Robert.
respect the Redskins a lot more if they just shut up and play football. That's it. Just shut up and play football.
I would respect him a lot more if your boy would get out of his team way and stop being an idiot and let his daggone organization run the daggone team.
That's
know,
true. That's true.
Robert,
you came on a little later, so we talked a lot about football, fantasy teams, that type of thing.
Mhm.
You have a fantasy squad?
Yes, I do, and we going to the tit-op.
Who's that?
I got Andrew Luck pulling the trigger. I got my man Forte in the backfield acting a donkey. Got LaShawn. That's my other power back there. I don't got too much in the way of receivers. So I'm not going to mention them, but I do got Big Witten. I'm waiting for Jason to do something and put some money up on the board for me. I'm going to try to, Terry has been putting me on to the FanDuel.
Oh yeah.
And I need some money, so I'm gonna go ahead and get on there and try to make some cash off that. I got some guys low key that are some really good consultants, so we're gonna try to put some stuff together and make it happen. But I'm feeling pretty good about my league team. I really do. I think I might have a good chance. My little brother's in it, and he's been talking stuff, so I'm gonna have to smash him. Matter of fact, the first game in the season. I gave him Tom Brady.
Smack that, eh?
You gave him Tom Brady?
That was crazy.
So another.
Yeah, because our.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Because when we did our draft, he had not gone through the whole court procedure, so he stayed on the board until like the 3rd or 4th round. I said, I'll take him, because even at worst, he was only going to be out 4 games.
Right. That's true. That's true.
So y'all don't want him. I need somebody to, be my backup, just in case, Andrew go down or that bye week. So I picked him up. I was like, y'all can go ahead and act like y'all don't want to touch Tom like he got the Ebola. But as soon as he get out there, you're going to go out there and prove it.
Hold on.
Great.
Well,
I
That's a
heard that
great
discussion
strategy.
earlier.
hold on, Tim. Before you
Yes,
go, I have to address that, Tim. Tim's about to. Well, we're all about to go because we've been on for
All
quite a.
right.
But Tim, so don't leave yet, Tim. Tim said, notice how no Bear fans select Jay Cutler as their fantasy quarterback. So,
Yeah. You
yeah.
know
So
why that is?
why is
Because I
that?
know he's a bum.
Hey, if they gave points for interceptions, he'd be fantasy player
Oh
MVP
yeah,
of the
number
year every
one.
year.
Or if
Hey,
they gave him points
hey,
for having emotional breakdowns and crying like a little child whenever
hey, I'm telling
something
you,
happens,
I'm
that
gonna
would be
give Jay
another point
Cutler.
giver.
I'm gonna give Jay Cutler the benefit of the doubt this year, and I'm gonna tell you, I think he's gonna have a hell of a season. Hey,
You
Is it a
in
hell
the
of a lot
Bears
better than the
organization
last 2
keep
years, but a
giving him
mediocre
that benefit
season?
of, right.
I'm
Right,
gonna
with
give
that
him
with
the
that
It
big
ain't
benefit.
no.
paycheck they
How
gave
many
him.
how many
You got no
coaches has he
choice. You're
got
a Bears
fired?
fan.
He's gotten
How many
2
offensive
fired.
coordinators? How many
Hey,
offensive coordinators and coaches has Cutler got fired?
if you are a
It's
Raiders
not
fan, you have no room to talk. No room at all.
He is a Raiders.
Y'all ain't been good since
Jersey.
Al Davis had real color in his head.
Everybody got Raider jokes, huh?
Yeah.
But you know what? On the real, y'all
Hater.
defense looks nice.
Oakland haters.
Oakland's defense looks
Maybe
nice.
hater and a Raider.
I got them for my defense. Oh, I mess with the Raiders, but I wouldn't pick them to win nothing. But I like how their defense looks. I got them for my defense in
Hey, Robert, I
fantasy
mess
league.
with the Raiders too, verbally. Raiders suck! Like that.
Wow. Yes.
Ooh, we got the drum roll, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed.
I
All
got
right,
I got to log off too. I'm with
I
Tim.
know, most of you guys are on the East Coast, so we're going to wrap it up. So for you guys, Grandpa Tim wants to go to sleep, so we're going to wrap it up. So in the wrap
I love
up,
sleep
we'll
too.
We'll
Oh,
start
my
with our
Lord.
guest,
I
Robert.
need to do something about this cough.
We'll start, get well. We're going to start with Robert. You have like last words. You could talk about a little short topic, short being the main thing. But just last words before we sign out.
My last words. I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to be on with you guys tonight. Awesome show. Really like everybody up here. Y'all personalities were pretty awesome. I'm an aspiring internet radio star. Soon I will have my own radio show, and when I get all that information, I will give that to you. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam.
Well, Robert, you're welcome anytime. We're going to be on Wednesdays, but for special things, like, for instance, if the NBA playoffs or on a Friday, we may come on a Thursday. You don't have a show on Thursdays anymore, right, Steve?
No. Tuesdays
Okay.
only, so, yeah.
We'd come on
Occasionally on Thursday, but, yeah, Tuesday mostly.
Yeah, so we'll do special things. If there's some kind of special thing happening, we'll all come on and we'll talk about
special things. Ooh, we got special things. I like special things. Special things are good.
It's basically on
You're a
Wednesday.
special thing.
Hey.
Hey, I mean it in a good way, not licking the glass and licking the helmet.
I know, I got nothing but love, Robert. You're great.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you so much, Robert. Thanks for coming on with us, okay? So
Thank you.
next we got Steve up. Steve has a diehard sports radio show every Tuesday night. He talks about everything under the sun that has to do with sports. It's great. He'll give you the information if anybody tunes in and wants to check him out. He's on Blog Talk. Take it away, Steve.
7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, blogtalkradio.com/Dire Sports Radio.
Nothing like when diehards meet up with tailgaters. This is a whole lot of fun. So just allow me to dedicate this shot of cough syrup as I prepare to go to bed. Hope that my cough disappears in the morning like the Niners season once it's done. Thank you very much for having me. Great fun tonight.
Oh, you're very welcome, and we love you on as always. You're part of the show. Yeah, get that cough syrup, get that throat together because I know you will be screaming and cheering for the Steelers. So get that,
Nice.
get that throat together.
Let's see if I got money on it, Michelle. Show me
All right,
the money, yo.
Tim, Grandpa Tim, you're next, and I know that you are betting on the Steelers tomorrow. So high five, buddy. Give me that hand. Give me that hand, Tim. Tim, give me that hand. Give me that hand, Tim. High five.
That's right. I have one thing to say. The Raiders are going to surprise a lot of people this year.
Oh, I love that. Who was ready with the leg?
Oh man.
Somebody knew that Tim was going to say something like that. That was great. That was great. Try again, Tim. We got a few of them. So what else you got to say about your Raiders?
Insert cricket.
Nada. There we go. There we go. That's
All right.
appropriate.
I predict that they will have a better record than the San Francisco 49ers.
Ooh.
You got a point there.
I got a point too, Terry. I got a point too, Terry. That I'm going to stick right in your hip along with Tim's.
Nice.
And on November 4th, we're going to beat the Steelers.
Wow.
Bold
That's
prediction.
by the way. Unbelievable.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm like waiting with bated breath. Really. I keep
So
telling.
is Big Ben.
All right, let me put this up here. I've been telling these Raider fans, especially the haters on my Facebook page, that is over. The Raiders beating the Steelers because that is their Super Bowl. The Raiders beating the Steelers. That's all they have to talk about. That is the only thing they have to brag about besides beating people up in the parking lot.
That's true. That too. Don't downplay the Gladiator Arena.
Go ahead, Robert.
Don't downplay Glad.
Don't mess with those Raider fans in the parking lot. You know?
They're mad. They got to get some kind of win.
That's like I don't know if a few of us are from LA, but that's like I remember like the Crenshaw High, was it Crenshaw High Dorsey or maybe the Palisades, like Palisades played Crenshaw High or something like that, right? And so after the game is over, I think win or lose, but especially if Crenshaw would lose, Palisades, their fans and their players would have to, sprint to the bus. They would have
Michelle,
to.
Oh, they're going to win something.
Michelle, you only
They
saying
gonna
that
win
because I
something.
went to Palisades.
They might
That's
not win
only-
that game, but they're going to win something.
That's the only reason why you're saying that.
By the way, do we get this
You
final
were
word?
running to the bus, Tim. No, you were running to the bus in high school.
Do we get Mark's final word, by the way? Mark, I can't hear you, Mark.
Oh, Mark's gone. Mark is gone. I don't know what happened to Mark. He may be a viewer or something. But
Near the
okay, so Timothy, is that all you had to say?
On November 4th,
No,
we
please.
will be
Tim,
we will
say
be
something
beating the
realistic.
That's all he had to
we
say.
will be beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. And when we go to Chicago, we're gonna whip that butt too.
Oh, man.
Tim, your parting words.
Have you been drinking some of that cough syrup?
Yeah.
Don't be messing with my
Some
cross.
of that Pepsi juice.
Don't be messing with my cross now.
No, it's getting late. Grandpa Tim is tired. That's why he's delusional right now. Tim, do you have anything lucid to say? Do you have anything lucid to say right now, Tim?
Yeah, we're beating the Pittsburgh Steelers on
Oh,
November
There we
4th.
go. There we go.
All right, it's
He
Terry.
is determined.
Hey,
And the Chicago Bears.
I'm really glad that we're back, and I'm excited. And
And the San Francisco 49ers.
and I just want to say that I got a feeling
it.
Sing it for him.
Bears is going to the Super
Sing it for him, brother.
Bowl.
Sing it for him, brother.
Sing with me, Bear fans.
85 to 15, baby. We on
Chicago
Super
Bears
Bowl
is going
hustle right
to
all
the
the way in
Super
there.
Bowl.
It's been
Yes,
30
sir.
years. Huh?
Shout out to all
Been
my
30
family that listen though today. We have a lot of people that's from Carolina that listening. So there's nothing finer than being from Carolina.
Who sings that song, by the way? I got to feel.
Finer than being from Carolina.
I tell people that all the
that
time. The steaks are so good they had to make 2 of them.
Let's keep it that
Yes,
way.
sir.
Okay, guys, so on our way out, we got another song. This is the last song for the evening. And you know what, guys? You guys, from now on, what can I? Oh, okay. From now on, when you send me your topics, send a couple of songs you may want to hear during the show. And that was great. Thank you, Robert, because our Tailgate Zone radio show, we had musicians, we had poets, we had authors, actors, singers. I mean, the gamut. And we also, talk sports. So that was perfect when you brought in that music topic. So that's something else, guys. If you have any other topics besides sports, we could kind of fit those in too. So, all right. So hold on, because this is one of my.
I got a topic. Leadership in Washington, D.C., that's debatable. Right, Terry?
Wow.
Hey, I cannot
Very
comment
much so.
on that.
All right. I think this may be everybody's favorite song. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Steelers. Here we go.
No.
I'm off.
Here we go.
Cheer the Steelers.
Oh, Michelle!
Here we go.
It's time to be
Right.
I am off.
Tim is muted for a reason.
Maybe everyone's favorite song, huh? What do you think I've ever heard you say?
Come on, guys. Don't be haters. We play tomorrow.
Here we go.
Good luck with that.
Here we go.
Thank you.
David hating and recognizing reality.
Tom gonna do Big Ben like he be doing girls in the bathroom.
You guys never heard this song before?
When we need to down, and if you get in his way, he's gonna knock you around. There we go.
Okay, so if you guys have fight songs, I'll be fair. If you guys
All
have
right.
fight songs, the night before your team plays, or the day before your team plays, then we will play that, or the week before, because it
Roger
could
Dodger.
be Sunday or whatever. All right, guys. So
Roger.
thank you. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank our viewers. We've had some viewers. We want to thank you very much for watching. This was our first show on Google Plus Hangouts. Guys, we were on Blog Talk before, so we want to thank you. This is like our beta test right here. That's why some of the lighting, some of the audio wasn't the best, because this is our first show and this was like a test. So thanks again, and please join us again next Wednesday around 6:30, and we'll let you know if we're going to come on again before that. So thank you. Bye. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bird.
Say hello to the kids. Don't mess with the neighbor's dog.
Bye from Tim. Bye from Timothy.
I will fix my camera next week.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. All right, guys. See you later. Thank you, everyone. I'll contact all of you, and Robert, I'm sure we can contact you through Terry. Okay, so peace. Michelle signing out. Thank you again. Now I got to figure out how to turn it off.
Press the right button like I'm about to do. See ya.
See ya.